Well, the first thing I would do is reach out to Smart Au Pairs.
Manage your expectations. Give your au pair less to do than you think is reasonable. Because your goal, if you make your au pair very happy and you spoil your au pair and you make them feel like they're a valued part of the family, they will want to stay. But if you make your au pair feel like a slave and you work them to death and you have them doing, loads of washing and not engaging with the kids, they're probably not going to want to stay around very well for very long, and they're not going to be happy. That's going to make it difficult for them to do a good job with your children, and you're not going to enjoy having an unhappy person living in your house. I think you also have to make a real effort to include your au pair as part of the family. So our au pairs eat dinner with us every night. They're welcome to join us for as many meals as they want to at the weekend. They don't have to, but if we're here and we're cooking, they're welcome to join us. If we go out, they're welcome to come along. We don't always take them on holidays. Sometimes we do. Now our children are a bit older, we don't need them as much, but we try to include them as much as we can so that they're not here and feeling lonely. And we also push them to go out and make friends. So we're encouraging them to go out and see people and not be home on Friday nights and at the weekend. We're encouraging them to actually go out and visit Sydney and explore all the great things that there are to see and do.
I would say that an au pair is one of the best additions you can make to your family. If you've got the house room to permit it, that's not always possible with the current situation in Australia. But I would say with the rising cost of childcare, if the house room's available, if you're willing to accommodate somebody, I think any family would be surprised by how well it works out, how much money it will save them, and how much their children will benefit from employing an au pair as either an alternative to organised childcare or in addition for the extra hours of care that children need while their parents work. It's a beautiful addition to the family. You meet some incredible people through this program. They do become a part of your life, and it's in such a good way. It adds a dimension that you wouldn't normally imagine to family life. And if you can open your homes and your hearts to such a thing, the benefits are too numerous to count.
Well, the first thing I would do is reach out to Smart Au Pairs, but yeah, definitely recommend going through an agency, start there, and just even having a look at the Smart Au Pairs website, because you get a really good understanding of the process, the au pairs, and how it all works.
Get in touch with another family, get in touch with an experienced host family. Talk to them, talk to their au pairs if they're free and if they're able to help out. Do go through an agency. I recommend Smart Au Pairs because that's my choice. And really do your homework, really prepare thoroughly, and always keep in mind that the person coming out is coming out to join your family. This is a young person from the other side of the world. They've probably never been this far from home before, and they're going to be quite vulnerable. But if you support them, if you nurture them, if you let them into your lives and your hearts and your families, they will repay that kindness 1,000 times to your children, who are the most precious things of all. And it's one of the best things you can do.
And I think, again, for families, my message would be, don't expect too much. Keep your expectations kind of in the low range so that you're not putting a lot of pressure on your au pair. Remember that you're probably dealing with somebody who's very young, who might not have ever travelled much outside their home country, who might never have lived away from home, and that it's a very scary experience for them to be parachuted into somebody's house in another culture, in a different language, where they don't have much power or much agency. And so you really have to try and treat them as you would one of your children. You have to be gentle and recognize it in a lot of respects. Even though they might be just 18, they're still kind of a kid. So
I think helping them build a community is really important, and that's the good thing about the agency, that that network is already exists. But around this area, there's so many au pair like Facebook pages and opportunities to connect.